Hello. Whew. Pals, pals, pals. It's Sunday. It's the Globbies. Season 20. There's hardly anyone here. We're going to have a nice chill time. We're going to get through it fairly quickly. We've all got places to be, lives to lead. But do say hello if you're here, so I don't start without the handful of you who are actually around. I, as you can tell, am in peak readiness and awakeness and high energy levels. It's all going to be fine. It's not impossible. We had a slight balking of the tech there. Just checking in. Give me a shout in chat if a human being is watching. Oh shit. That's a race, that's a Pengu, holy hell. I wasn't expecting quite so many people. I was pretty confident it was just going to be me and two Dutchmen just sitting around shooting the shit. But that's not true. You are Dutch. Hello. Thanks for joining us. I'm sort of assuming I won't hear from Tom because he's trying to dial in via carrier pigeon or some shit like that. But I'll keep an eye out for a Franca before we get going, because I'm expecting a Franca. And they've always said a Globbies without Franca is a Globbies not worth doing. How is the connection holding up? Anyone having any issues with the connection? Because I'm looking at my YouTube and it doesn't look perfect. So let me know if you're having some stalling. Extremely quiet. That is probably something I can fix by bringing this microphone closer to my human face. How is that? Aha, there's a Franklin chat. Hello, Mike. Is this any less quiet? If not, I can bump up the microphone a little bit, but I've simply moved it closer to me. I'm going to keep saying words until they transmit to you, the human beings. Way better. Okay, good. Then we'll go with that. All right. I think this is everyone we're going to get, pretty much, because we arranged this at a somewhat slapdash manner. I realised I was busy as fuck this coming week and had no convenient time to stream, so we're doing it just in time. That said, of course, anyone who's not here is a dingleberry, and yeah, actually it's gonna, I'm not afraid to say it, if you're watching this on catch up, eat shit. Alright, let's get going. Let's do some Globby, shall we? Let's push the button that does the thing with the whatsits. And any second it will load. There we go. It's the Globbies, it's season 20. Stuff we definitely remember. Every single moment of it. It was so recent that it's just fresh as a, I don't know, something fresh. What do you want from me? I'm not your boss. Let's do some awards. But first, of course, let's have some images. And these sure are some of them. They're in glossy PNG format. Some of them correlate to things. And isn't that the only thing we can ask for, really, if you think about it? Anyway, let's carry on. Our winner of season 20, it's much and more. It's Peel. Holy hell, Peel did it. I've got to tell you, when it was confirmed that much and more had won the league, I was like, oh, that's boring. Peel's done it again. It's Peel's first win. Not really sure when I just made up that it happened before, but he's won his first league title. Often the third place, never the bride. until now. So well done to Much and More, who Erling Haaland did their way to success. You love to see it. We're all pleased for Peel. I'd love to tell you who won the cup, but I have forgotten. Was it Mike? It feels like it was probably Mike. I don't know. All I know is that Full Man lifted the trophy, so that's more or less what happened. Oh, there absolutely should be more crosses through more of the badges, but I haven't. And several of those badges simply aren't appropriate anymore. I haven't messed with the images since I inherited this PowerPoint presentation, and I don't intend to, because if I start doing that, I'll have to fix everything, and I don't want to. So you can simply look at the badges as they are. I might have well been confusing Peel with Haaland. Haaland's won loads of trophies, fuck's sake, Haaland. Anyway, let's carry on. Let's enjoy our easy to digest table at the end of the season. As you can see, everything is precisely where it should be. So that is a nice, clear and uninterrupted picture of what happened. Now, some would say, George, why didn't you ask Reese for at least a version of this without Twitch captions sprawled all over it? And to that I say, couldn't bother. But as you can see, some of these teams finished in positions. Much and More the champions by 4 points in the end. Surreal a little way off at the end, but otherwise a very enjoyable season. Now, we had several legit contenders for the title the whole way through. Some of them even got close to the title by the end. Some of them, make your names, Manchester United, didn't quite materialise in the way they would have hoped. But yeah, obviously, as you can see, the split worked perfectly, and that's just how the table looks. Let's carry on. Team of the season. It's our first award, and well, it's the rare occasion where the winning team does not win Team of the Season. Not even close, as it happens. I'm not sure we've ever had a situation where 3 teams have got more votes for Team of the Season than the actual league winning team. But Sirs and the Ducks both exceeded Peel's votes here for, I think, having very defining seasons in very particular ways. But it's Tiki Takatoa who get Team of the Season with a big result here. Second place and a cup win with a team that's kind of really come together since their start of the cycle. That whole tactical approach to drafting has, I think, really come to fruition for Mike in a big way, and it's great to see. So yeah, Tiki Takatoa are our team of the season. Well done to them. Next up, it's going to be Director of Football of the season, and this one, against all odds, is going to Reese. Turns out, if you build a good team on purpose, you might do well, and that's what's happened here. Reese has executed some basic competence almost from start to finish in terms of assembling a squad, and it's paid off with a great season, a genuine title challenge, and a DO of the season vote. So congratulations to Reese. Mike, very close for, I think, similar reasons behind Team of the Season. It's a team that is realising a vision that's been there from the start, which is very enjoyable to watch. But shouts for all kind of people. Peel gets one for winning, as it goes. Mate gets one for reasons not really known to human beings. Vince gets a shout. Stefan gets a shout, which is wild because Fastlane were fucking awful this year. Just because he tried, yeah. You know what? Sometimes you have to reward the behaviour you want to see. And now Reese can take this result and go back to drafting 35-year-old fullbacks for the rest of his life. That'll be fine. So well done to Reese, Director of Football of the season. We'll carry on to Player of the season, probably. Is it Player or Manager first? We'll find out. It's Manager of the season, like I said. Manuel Pellegrini for the Ducks. Took a good team, maybe even outperformed where they should be. Just a really solid performance from a fun and exciting team. Manuel Pellegrini gets the votes for the Ducks, but shouts all round for Fatih Terim, who won the league, Marcelo Gallardo, who was did very very well with an Elves team that, by rights he couldn't have had anything to do with the title challenge, but still kind of got there. And I'm definitely not stalling, so I can remember which team Eric Garrett managed. And as we all know, that was Newcastle. So yes, Newcastle, by almost all objective measure, a ridiculous team that didn't make any sense, but actually were genuinely quite good for most of the season. And so perhaps understandably people are keen to reward Eric Garrett for his efforts. Tom, I've just seen your Discord message. Hello, love to hear from you. I'm almost never going to read that again, so just enjoy the show. Let's carry on to player of the season. Well, look, sometimes you draft the best player in the database, and he's basically the reason you win the league, and it's somewhat difficult to vote against that. Erling Haaland gets a majority of the votes here for basically just being the reason why Much and More are league champions. So well done to him. But some perfectly solid shouts in the rest of the sphere, and also Joe Gomes is here. Shout out to Juan Cuadrado for maybe being the best right back of the year. We'll get back to that later, but exceeding a lot of expectations and being dynamic and excellent for the Ducks. Kingsley Coman, who had an incredible season for the Elves, big part of their title challenge. And top 10, who scored almost as many goals as Haaland in a significantly worse team. Just an incredible performance for the Dwarves. Probably the reason they made the split. And yeah, really impressive effort from him. And now I'm going to listen to myself and move my camera around a little bit so that I don't get in the way of other shit. And that's probably the way it's meant to be. I actually can't remember whether I left it in the right place from last time. Who knows? We're carrying on. Let's head on now to the various Player of the Season in each position awards. We'll start with the goalkeeper. Big win here for Kevin Trapp once again. The Pythons keeper, a serial winner at this point of goalkeeper of the season. FM23 has been very kind to Kevin Trapp, and he's getting straight back into that team. I think it's a repeat from last season, but plenty of votes for Mike Maignan from Newcastle, who was drafted extremely early. But actually kind of rewarded that faith and was a really, really solid pick for them all season long. Oblak and Navas both here. Got votes, and that's what happened to them. Let's go on into the defenders, starting with the right back. Is it Juan Cuadrado? It is Juan Cuadrado. It's close, though. I think there's a real argument either way between Natalie Regis from Much and More and Juan Cuadrado from the Ducks. Regis is, by CA, the best right back and was, very, very strong all season long for Much and More. Might, I suspect, have been technically the right answer, but Cuadrado had a little bit more of a storyline. There was, all of the back and forth with Gogar slagging him off as a pick for the Ducks, and Cuadrado just being excellent all season long. I think if, there's a very real chance that if Regis were, up for centre-back as well, you'd probably just slot him in. When I always think when the Premier League does their team of the season stuff, or the BBC will do a team of the season, Garth Crooks definitely puts both Regis and Cuadrado in this team, that kind of thing. But yeah, as we're going rigid and professional here, only one of them can make it in, and Cuadrado has the votes to do it. But all of our nominees got a shout. Jonathan Klaus from KCC, I want to say. Nordi Michele from the Elves, and Reece James for Weasels, despite him having absolutely no business, frankly, being nominated at all. But, thanks, I guess. Let's carry on to our centre-backs. We've got two of them, and they are Marquinhos from the Ducks and Dayot Upamecano from Tiki Taka Toa. Both just really, really solid this season as part of teams who did very, very well. Patrick Omondi from the Pythons, understandably got a good showing here, as did Chris Smalling from Much and More, who was surprisingly effective, part of their defence and title victory. A good showing for Smalling, but didn't do enough to overtake either our winners here. Shout, almost everyone who was nominated got a vote. Benoit Badiashile somehow got 2. Guardiol was here. I can't imagine voting for Josko Guardiol, but there you are. Yeah, good showing for everyone, but I think 2 very sensible winners here. We have a second duck into our team now. Let's go on to left back, where it's another Tiki Taka Toa player. This is a big win for Alphonso Davis. Just a consistently excellent player. Big part of their success this season. Teo Hernandez from the Ducks was very, very solid as well, but is beaten out to the punch here. Fix up Luke Shaw, happy to be here. But yeah, so we have 2 Tiki Taka Toa and 2 Ducks in our back 4 here. Let's move along to our midfielders. It's the central midfielders first, if I'm not mistaken. And, I mean, look, you absolutely love to see this. It is a double kid central midfielder of the season. His enormous Normness, Big Norman Onyango from the Pythons. And Daniel the Bushman, outright winning the votes, had the most votes of anyone, stepped up in a big way as a first team star for the Ducks this season, was excellent. Genuinely a little bit proud to see this come off. Yeah, you absolutely love to see it. Onyango, a Pythons team that did well but not amazingly, but just at moments Big Norm just does something truly stupid. Probably the best football player in the database. Does things that Football Manager almost never makes you go, "Whoa!" But Norm is that kind of player. God, I love him so fucking much. No real competition for either of these 2. Lorenzo Pellegrini got a few votes for doing quite well. Goretzka did well. Foden, Fernandez and Barella also got votes, but yeah, these 2 were really, really excellent. So well done to them. It's a 3rd Duck and a 2nd Python. Will we get a different team as we go to our, I want to say left winger? Yes, it is, left winger. So we have a tie here, first place between the obvious nominees, Kingsley Coman and Neymar. So I secretly went to the person, the idiot who voted for Sheila instead, and asked them to break the tie. And obviously they'll remain nameless for doing something as stupid as not voting for one of these 2. But Tom picked Coman. So that's who's got into the team. So yeah, nice to diversify a little bit. Coman, yeah, a big part of that unexpected Elves title challenge, just shoveling goals into the net. Incredible work from him. Neymar, I think this is probably the most competitive vote of the whole team of the season, if you ask me. So yeah, Coman and Neymar both huge parts of their team's success this season. But Coman gets the nod on the tie-break. Well done to him. Let's go ahead to right winger of the season. And it's Leroy Sané from Tiki Taka Toa. It's a really strong performance from him all season long. Everyone here who got votes got multiple votes. Ousmane Dembele was very good for the Elves. Not Coman level good, but really good. Jeffrey Weir and Mohamed Salah both made important contributions, where maybe just kind of was there in that Jeffrey Weir kind of way. Got a few assists, I think he hit 10 goals without really defining anyone's success. Just got some good numbers. Salah was a part of for a time, an extremely impressive Spurs team who kind of went off the rails a little bit toward the end, and that might have contributed to his missing out on this vote. But it's Sané who is the 3rd Tiki Taka Toa representative in our team. Let's go ahead and round out our team of the season with the strikers. And, well, no surprise to see Erling Haaland leading the line here. Player of the season, makes it into the team of the season as well. And he's joined by Top 10, who is one of the other players nominated for Player of the Season. Haaland scored. I'm just going to go ahead and find out now how many goals Haaland scored. It was a stupid number, but we'll let the website tell me exactly how much. And this was, I believe, not counting the cup. That's 29 for Erling Haaland and 28 for Top 10. Those are stupid numbers, pals. Shouldn't be possible. And yeah, they're very well deserved in our Player of the Season. There are several very, very good strikers this season. Ansu Fati, understandably got a few votes for, that the real boy magic is coming through now for Ansu Fati. He was excellent at Manchester again. Tammy Abraham got up to about 20 goals, bullying the bottom half of the split. Probably a little lucky to be here, quite frankly. Like, most of his goals came after the split, and he did have some absolute honkers on the way as well. But does get a vote. Big gets a vote. Was good for Newcastle, a big part of their success. But I mean, yeah, hard to argue in comparison to the Haaland and top 10 numbers. Messi got a couple of votes for being again a major part of Manchester when they were good, and Lukaku kind of making up the numbers here a little bit. Got 15 goals, but that's just over half of Haaland's goals. I think we know where this is going. So yeah, here's our full team of the season. One representative from Muchamore, one from the Dwarves, one from the Elves, 2 Pythons, 3 from Tiki Takatoa, and 3 from the Ducks. But they're all wearing Muchamore colours, and that's what counts. So well done to all of these. Let's go ahead into our next round of categories, which is of course the banter categories. So the Cobel Prize for Schiedsrichter for the Banter Goalkeeper Award. Thibaut Courtois is our winner this season. I think responsible for the most memorable gaffe of the season, in the only gaffe that I can remember from the season, where he basically just grabbed it, dropped it, in it goes. Some really ridiculous showing from Courtois, which I think makes single-handedly won his award. Hello, Vince in chat. Lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us on your Sunday. Manuel Neuer, the only other person here to get multiple nominations. I couldn't even tell you who Neuer played for this season, quite frankly. Let's have a look at that, which I definitely know how to do. It's going to be so underwhelming, but I just have to know at this point. It's probably Hijos, isn't it? Yeah, Adam kept him. Blue kept him like a twat. Well done, Adam. You're an idiot. David De Gea, Edison making up the numbers. Joe Gomes, always nice to be nominated. Thanks for being here. But Courtois is our banter goalkeeper. Look, the leader of the best offence in the league doesn't even get a mention. Benzema, had, certainly by Benzema standards, a really strong season, but you have to look at the competition here. Top 10 and Haaland, just ridiculous. Let's go to banter defender. We had at least one vote here that was explicitly for. I can't think of anything that a defender did that was interesting. But it's Juan Cuadrado who gets the rare best right back of the season and banter defender award. I think for just the ongoing storyline of just Cuadrado dunking on Joe for panning him pre-season is just a big ongoing part of us all marvelling at the Ducks' success. Declan Rice showing up for doing Declan Rice things. Joe Gomes and Jose Gaia, who is constantly infuriating his DOF at KCC. Courtois letting the most goals over expected plus the last 2 seasons. Yeah, that makes sense. Courtois, a bit of a mess. But it's Cuadrado for the ongoing narrative who makes it to banter defender. Let's go on to banter central midfielder. We struggled here, didn't we, pals? There wasn't really anything to report. We have various nominations for Joe Gomes, for Pau Torres, Mateo Kovacic, always good for 5 or 6. Marco Verratti, who just sort of stopped being a thing for some reason and let the Bushmen shine. Andreas Christensen, is he a defender? Is he a midfielder? Don't know. He's shit. Casemiro, most yellows. You love to see it. And a vote for Big Norm for just doing insane things that people shouldn't be allowed to do on Football Manager. But yeah, there is no clear winner, I would say. Like, normally I'd break a tie, but honestly, I don't think anyone has done anything worthwhile this season. I'm cancelling the Banter Central Midfielder Award. Everyone do better. This wasn't good enough. Let's get some more banter next season. So that one's a wash. Let's go ahead to Banter Cam or Winger. We do have a winner here. I absolutely definitively could not tell you why, but Kylian Mbappe got 3 votes, so must have done something banterous. Was he just he was shit? Don't know. It probably is that now that I'm thinking of it. But Mbappe is our winner for Banter Cam, Banter Winger. Neymar, the only other person to get multiple votes. I for one voted for Neymar because I really enjoyed the extent to which Reece fell deeper and deeper in love with him all season. Despite him, it's not a was bad nomination, but just a kind of I enjoyed this part of the season, and it was I wanted to be recognised somewhere. But we have votes as well for Joe Gomes, for Vinicius, for Mustafa Castle for some reason, for Emi Buendia for some reason. They're all here. But it's Kylian Mbappe who wins this award. We can now move on to Banter Striker. Is Benzema going to defend his title? Well, it is a tie at the top. We've got 2 votes each for Karim Benzema, for Dusan Vlahovic, and for Alexis Ramirez. Haaland gets a point here just for being dumb. Tammy Abraham for being simultaneously not all that good and also getting 20 plus goals. Ike Muniain doing Ike Muniain things. Joe Gomes, lovely to see him get a mention for a change. But yeah, we kind of got a Dusan Vlahovic, I feel, is like a Tammy Abraham nomination on steroids. Like, got more goals, also had like his more than his fair share of just complete nonsense over the season. But he probably should have got about 35, but messed up a bunch as well. Alexis was kept by Weasels, who had 261 CA strikers at the start of the season, only had room for one. Kept Alexis, binned off top 10. Alexis was shit. There's no getting around it. He wasn't very good this season. Needed better service, but also needed to do anything with that service. Benzema, of course. I mean, where do you even begin with Karim Benzema? Had, as we said, a good Benzema season, a good anyone season, really, if you're honest. Still managed to Benzema a few things along the way. Inexplicably part of a title challenge for the Elves. But we've had so many Benzema wins in this category that I feel like it's just he needs to do more for Banter Striker here. Some of these are legacy votes. I'm going to hand this one to Dusan Vlahovic, who just had a weird season. Inarguably good, but it's confounding that he wasn't great. So Vlahovic takes home the Banter Striker award. Let's carry on to Banter Manager. I feel that we were a little short of viable options here. Joe Gomes gets a shout. Joey Barton, manager of Surreal Shithouses. Patrick Kluivert, manager of whoever. Was that Tom who drafted Kluivert? Probably. That sounds like a thing he'd do. No, it wasn't. Who's done this then? Own Up, Kluivert. Oh, it's the Kips. Oh, they were shit, weren't they? Yeah, fair enough. But Antonio Conte coming back, kind of a legacy point here. It's been almost the first thing we established in Gobshite is that Antonio Conte is just cursed. He can't work. Football manager doesn't like him. We don't really understand why, but he's just really bad as a Euro manager. And it'd been a few seasons, we'd all accepted that, and so nobody drafted him for a while. But Stefan took the brave step of trying to make him work in FM23, and he fucking fell flat on his face. He was absolute dog shit once again. Do not draft Antonio Conte. What are you doing? It's kind of satisfying to see that re-established for a generation. As players, DOFC haven't grown up with Conte being dog shit, and it's important to give a reminder of that to everyone involved. So Antonio Conte, Barcelona manager, what a mess. You get Banter Manager. Let's move on to whatever's coming next. I might have accidentally skipped back a little bit. Where are we going? Banter Team. There we go. Lots of candidates here. Joe Gomes, good goal getting nominated there. Los Hijos, they weren't very good, were they? That happens a lot. Weird. Newcastle United, a slightly confounding team, assembled in a slightly confused way. Had to sort of jury rig the formation after the fact to make it make some kind of sense, but were kind of good, and nobody really knows why. Surreal Shithouses, look, they drafted everyone with aggression 20, and they got a shitload of yellow cards for it. Got a win. That was exciting. Just your classic surreal experiment. Panterbank and Wanderers, the Soviet superstars as they were known, despite obvious, for legal reasons, they weren't all part of the Soviet Union. But a fun team with a mostly clear identity, who were pretty competitive in that lower rank of the table. I enjoy watching them quite a lot. But we've got a tie for the top here between Full Man United and FC Sers. Full Man, returning from a couple of seasons exile, with a new name, a new kit, and a really bizarre route to the cup final. Nobody really understands how that happened, because they were just kind of uniformly dreadful in the league. Nothing really going on with Full Man, but somehow they just beat everyone on the way to the cup final. And look, they did lift the trophy. So you can't really argue with that in terms of cup success. But I'm going to break the tie in favour of Sers. You have to understand with Sers that this is a team that got like the longest winning or unbeaten streak in Gobshite history. It looked like they were... You couldn't do anything to get past Sers for such a long time. And then they just broke. Like, Sers just stopped. And they weren't even in with a shout of the title on the final day. They didn't finish in the top 4. What a ridiculous season. It's like season 3 Pythons level capitulation. It's like season, I want to say 13 Manchester capitulation. Like, this was a complete falling apart of epic proportions. Somehow never topped because they got so many draws, but this impregnable team suddenly became very pregnable. And yeah, it's just a complete roller coaster. I'm breaking the tie in favour of Sers. Banter team. A team nobody, I think, understands. So well done to them. Let's move on. Next up is Gimmick of the Season. Several suggestions here. We've got Joe Gomes, just doing Joe Gomes things. We all love to see it. Surreal, they drafted a bunch of highly aggressive players, and that was fun. We also got a separate vote for tracking the cards that Surreal got. They got up to something like 87. I can't remember the number off the top of my head. I've got a window open. I should find out. It was something stupid. But yeah, it was a fun little thing to keep track of throughout the season. Where did we settle? 83 yellows and 7 red cards. You love to see it. We have a vote for the slowest defenders of all time, slowest centre backs of all time for Newcastle. I wonder who made that nomination. Impossible to tell. Wormholes, just in general. We have several of them this season, and there was a lot of drama over them. Deliberate and inadvertent wormholes played a big part in the ongoing narrative of the season. Pants drafting a very specific subset of players from Eastern Europe. That was very enjoyable. But the winner with 2 votes, the only thing to get more than 1 vote, because frankly I looked at the votes before I voted and I thought that's the one. Haiku Week. Honestly, I've forgotten how we came to that happening, but at some point, just midway through a stream, everyone just broke out into haiku in Twitch chat, and it was a great time. Our random flights of fancy in Twitch chat are one of my favourite things about Gobshite, so I was very happy to vote for this, because it was just one of these things that gets out of control immediately, as was sort of inevitable. More of this, please. Let's move on now. Surprise of the season. We've got KCC being shit. They're normally not, you see. Normally KCC are good, but they weren't. They were bad this season. Didn't make the split. Sirs, I don't know what to say about Sirs, but there were some surprises there. Not really sure at what point in the season the surprise occurred. Like, were they supposed to be good? Were they supposed to be shit? Nobody really knows. I'm hearing there might be some issues with things breaking. Hang on. Yeah, I think there's something iffy about my connection, but I can't really identify it. So I'm just kind of going to power on, and hopefully you'll get the idea. Do let me know if you are back at the moment. It's showing like it should be up for me. So give me a shout in the YouTube chat if I am still here. And if so, I will carry on. I could make VPN on, but I think that's not massively going to help. just came back. All right. Well, hopefully it'll hang in there. Like, as I say, like I don't think there's an awful lot I can do right now. Hopefully, it's just gonna muddle through. Yeah, it doesn't like me streaming on YouTube very much, as far as I can tell. But we'll make it through. Where was I? Yes, Sirs. Who knows what part of them was a surprise? I have no idea. They certainly were a team that happened. Buffering constant. Okay, tell you what. Let me whack on the VPN, and I'll see if anything changes. Connection. So yeah, that should now be all set. Just confirm that you can hear me again, please. That would be grand. Oh, Frank will be the whole time. Well, that's probably just a mic thing then, but here we are. We'll see if this helps Mike, and if it doesn't, then that's just how it's going to be. But I'll carry on while we're here. Kingsley Coman, just for being good, the surprise of the season. Less what are you doing here, more just a shit, fair play. Yeah, just getting one of the best players of the season for without a lot of precedent. Okay, it sounds like it's a mic problem, which is exciting from what I'm hearing. Exciting news. But the main point is that our winner surprised the season by a long way, a huge margin. It's Newcastle United. Why did they work? Science has no explanation. This is a team that veered between drafting Big in round 1 to Mike Maignan in round 2, from Julio Cesar to Iago Pikachu. Just a weird team that somehow gelled and got into the split and didn't get whipped in the split. So well done to Newcastle. We don't understand you, but we're glad you're here. Moving on, we've got disappointment of the season. Gosh, there were choices here. So many choices. We've got Pingu's biased voting in the Globbies. We've got Joe Gomes. We've got Haaland just carrying again. It's kind of boring, actually. The KCC medical staff losing some key players and not getting them back quickly enough. Manchester United and Lionel Messi both getting nominated. Well, Messi in this case specifically just for not winning again. Like, at some point it would be nice to see the Messi win, but we're not there yet. He was good, but not good enough. Jeffrey Weir, obviously expectations are high. He's got the highest CA in the game, but again, just kind of wearing it up, getting 10 goals, doing not a lot else. Sirs, who took the incredible foundation of that ridiculous unbeaten run and just kind of pissing it away. But the only team to get more than one vote here, it's Weasels for bottling the shot at all of the cabal getting into the split at the same time for the first time. Had an opportunity to do it in the final couple of weeks before the split and just fucked it up. They couldn't score goals for the life of them. And yeah, a team that looked pretty decent on paper. Bukayo Saka is one of the best players in the league for the last couple of seasons. Alexis was coming off a big season the year before. Lots of really good players, but it just didn't happen. And the Weasels ended up just kind of mid to high in the bottom of the split. So disappointed of the season. Club, let's go Weasel Planeta, for fuck's sake, pals. Let's carry on. It's rivalry this season. Exciting to see not only not a win for Tom and Adam this season, but not even a vote for Tom and Adam. We had some genuine goings on this season. Joe Gomes, always nice to be nominated. The dealing with the acronyms or the 3-letter titles at the top of the screen is always a big part of the streams, and being able to just genuinely get a nudes was very satisfying. So yeah, I'm very happy to see that pop up in rivalry this season. But a couple of votes for Whammer versus the Elves. The cast iron guarantee that they would not get anywhere near the top. The spoiler that they were going to finish bottom of the split from Whammer. he really got his pants pulled down by Coman and Dembele and Benzema this season, and that was enjoyable for everyone, I think. But our winner with a big old dollop of votes, it's Jogar versus Mike. The ongoing wormhole grumbling. It was a big part of the Twitch chat discourse this season was that little like minor spat, which I enjoyed greatly. So Jogar versus Mike, rivalry this season. Well done to you too. Next up, it's our season 20 special mentions, because we're already there. We're coming to the end of our feature presentation. Benzema was great. Great's a strong word, but he was great in Benzema terms for sure. An inexplicable title challenge for the Elves, and Benzema was somehow a part of that. Go Games. I think it's important to take a moment to highlight people who haven't had their dues in the Globbies, and so I'm glad we had room to kind of squeeze in a shout out for Joe Gomes at this point. Can't remember anything about this season. Look, I know it was a couple of weeks ago, so I do apologise for that. But I had fun. I liked it. An important note here that Nicky won the most consecutive games in Globby history by loads and still didn't finish in the top 4. It's just, that's a sentence that will continue to linger for a while, I think. Sorry to Stefan, there was of course that unfortunate inadvertent wormhole where Stefan missed out on, was it cup final place? Beating Tiki Taka Toe, if I recall. Just got screwed by a random wormhole. And a lovely shout out for Full Man, because who doesn't love Full Man United? Lovely to have them back. And well done for making it to the cup final. So that's all of our awards. I've not got much else to do, but what I can tell you before I go is where we're going to be playing next season. It's the final season of the cycle. Which actually means that what I'm about to show you is complete bullshit. Because I obviously asked Reese earlier where we're going to be playing next season, because I was tired and I couldn't remember anything. But of course, it's the final season of the cycle. We're going back to Montserrat. Fuck all this. So I'm about to show you a flag. It's not important. Pay no attention to it whatsoever. Maybe we'll go there in season 22. Maybe we won't. But yeah, here's the flag of Mexico. But I'm telling you right now, we're not going to be there. It's not happening. Just look at the flag. There's some nice colours. There's a bird. We like birds. But Mexico, nothing to do with next season. Season 21 will take place in Montserrat, in the exclusion zone. We're going back to the volcano to offer our penance to the dark gods who control the fire where the managers go after they die. And this is just, it's an important part of Globby's tradition to have a series of images that have no relation to what's going on. So this is just one of those images. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this slightly slapdash results ceremony. I've had a lovely time in season 20. It's been lovely to have you all in here. So we're not going to start the draft straight away. I think what's happening is we're waiting for the full version of FN24 to drop, so we can get CAs. I think that's what's happening, and that should be happening at the end of this coming week, I want to say. We'll confirm that in Discord. But people, I think, are entitled to not start doing their keeps until they know CAs. Like, some of you may already know what you're going to do regardless. But details for that will be confirmed through yammering about it in Discord. I don't think anything is settled. We just kind of, we'll figure it out. But in any case, we'll be drafting before too long in our first season in FN24. 6th of November? Okay, that's the Monday, isn't it? So maybe it'll be a Monday. Maybe more likely it'll be slightly after that, so we can start inputting, updating BPA stuff. But it'll be soon. I'm looking forward to seeing you then for season 21. In the meantime, that's going to be all for our Globby stream. Thanks for joining me. Fuck you again if you're watching on catch up. And in the meantime, go away.